there's an entire basketball season between now and the NBA Draft 2023. Regardless of which team's ping pong balls come up, it appears that we can already pencil in the top 2 picks for next season. While Victor Wembanyama may be your favorite, I wouldn't eliminate Scoot Henderson from the race just yet. He might just have a case over Victor for the first pick. The Scoot Henderson Victor Wembanyama debate is kicking off 9 months before the 2023 NBA Draft. Wembanyama is practically a unicorn in the NBA world. He is a tall 7'2" to 7'5", according to reports, Frenchman with guard skills and three-point range. The 19-year-old is currently the undisputed number 1 overall pick for next year, but that doesn't mean you should overlook Scoot Henderson's NBA draft prospects. Henderson, a 6'2", 195-pound ball handler, is clearly the number 2 prospect. And while Victor may be towering over Scoot, there are several instances that show why Henderson could be the number 1 pick over Victor Wembanyama in the 2023 NBA Draft. Don't believe us? How about when Scoot Henderson beat Victor Wembanyama in their first head-to-head meeting? The 2 future NBA stars met for the first time on October 4th, 2022 in an exhibition in Henderson, Nevada. The 2 showed up and performed admirably in the match, with Henderson's G League Ignite defeating Wembanyama's Metropolitans 122 to 115 in double overtime. Wembanyama led all scorers with 37 points and rallied his team from a 71 to 52 halftime deficit, while Henderson contributed 28 points, 9 assists, and a win for his team. This was an exhibition game, so comparing the talent on a G League team and a French professional team is impossible. But Henderson did get the win, which should be worth something ahead of the 2023 NBA Draft. And while we can't help but pat him on the back for the win, we can't help but wonder about how he managed to take down Wembanyama, the 7'2" giant of a man. The answer is simple. Guards are more of a sure bet than big men. From Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain to Tim Duncan and Shaquille O'Neal to Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid, big men have dominated the NBA for decades. But taking a lead guard at the top of the draft has worked out better in recent years than taking a big. Consider the recent top 3 matchups, such as LaMelo Ball versus James Wiseman, Ja Morant versus Zion Williamson, and Luka Doncic versus DeAndre Ayton. There's a good chance that number 5 pick Jaden Ivey has had more success right away than Paolo Banchero this year. We already know he'll have a better rookie season than the out for the year Paolo Banchero and Chet Holmgren. In these situations, the big man went first, but the lead guard quickly emerged as the superior NBA player. This isn't exactly an ideal recent trend. Evan Mobley may be better than Cade Cunningham and Jalen Green in the 2021 draft. It's a development that NBA teams should consider before selecting Victor Wembanyama first overall and dismissing Scoot Henderson outright. There's something else they need to think about before they make their decisions as well. Championship teams need a primary ball handler. It's one thing for teams to consider drafting a lead guard over a big man at the top draft, but what about teams that hope to win a championship someday? Recent NBA champions have featured primary ball handlers, such as Stephen Curry, Drew Holiday, Kyle Lowry, Kyrie Irving, and Tony Parker. These teams' starting centers have included Kevin Looney, Brooke Lopez, Marc Gasol, Dwight Howard, and Tristan Thompson. Given that primary ball handling guards are more important championship teams in the modern NBA than centers, Scoot Henderson makes more sense as the number 1 pick. Even at 7'3", Victor Wembanyama is more of a long wing than a center, according to the counter-argument. If that's the case, Wembanyama falls into the category of talented wings who have recently won championships. If you add names like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, then you have a different argument in which the Frenchman is likely to win. But right now, we're talking about Henderson and Wembanyama, and there's one important difference between the 2 players. Scoot Henderson and Victor Wembanyama Wembanyama's bodies are very different. Scoot Henderson's case for being the first overall pick in the NBA draft has far less to do with the Georgia native and far more to do with Victor Wembanyama's body. NBA fans have never seen a player his size with his ball handling abilities, three-point range, and silky smooth movement. Kevin Durant, who stands 7 feet tall, comes the closest, despite his 6'10" claims. Wembanyama is at least 3 inches taller. The problem is that the track record of players that big and skinny isn't great. Number 1 picks over 7 feet haven't fared well in the NBA, from Ralph Sampson to Yao Ming to Greg Oden. Big bodies aren't built for the rigors of professional basketball. This is happening again, as 7 foot, 195-pound Chet Holmgren will miss his rookie season due to a foot injury. Teams will be tempted to take Scoot Henderson or Victor Wembanyama in the 2023 NBA draft because of the Frenchman's upside, but Henderson is the much safer pick. Victor will have to step up his game and show NBA scouts everything he's got if he wants to turn the tables. Of course, that's gotta be stressful for the star player. Wembanyama will have to overcome his potential weaknesses. He is, after all, the consensus number 1 overall 2023 NBA draft prospect and the most highly regarded player to enter the league since LeBron James in 2003, arguably. That doesn't mean the 19-year-old can't improve in some areas of his game, and scouts have noticed some things he can work on in the future. In his most recent mock draft, Sam Vecini of The Athletic wrote about Wembanyama's potential weaknesses as identified by NBA scouts. He pointed out that his passing and ability to make reads on the move, as well as the consistency of his shots, are very noticeable. Vecini also added that he's yet to talk to an NBA scout who doesn't see these skills as likely to be improved as Wembanyama ages. It's clear that Wembanyama may have some things to work on, but what exactly which areas does he need to focus on? To get a better idea, let's take a look at the stats. For starters, he's already tearing up professional basketball, averaging 22.4 points, 9.6 rebounds, and 3.1 blocks per game. According to ESPN's Jonathan Givony, he's 7'4" barefoot with an 8-foot wingspan and has demonstrated the ability to shoot deep. According to Tankathon, if the season ended today, the Houston Rockets, Charlotte Hornets, and Detroit Pistons would all have equal 14% chances of landing the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. Other than that, the player needs to keep 3 more things in mind. These are strength, durability, and decision making. While his previous injuries have been isolated or unrelated to his 220-pound frame, Wembanyama's long, skinny arms and legs could get caught in some compromising positions during games. Despite being one of the EuroLeague's youngest rotation players, he shot only 34.8% field. Early in his professional career, he will face difficulties creating separation, dealing with contact. Add to the fact that he can be too casual or ambitious with his passes at times. He'll also force plays and get caught off guard after making a move, resulting in a turnover. And when it comes to Wembanyama's shooting consistency, it's always been more of an eye test that predicts improvement than actual results. In 2021-22, he shot a combined 27.5% deep, which is alright given his age, height, and other strengths. With that said, we're looking forward to seeing if Wembanyama manages to move past Henderson. See you all in the next video.